on the walk. 0-2 here, Mayo to center field. That's driven deep. Baez racing back at the wall. It's off the fence. The Orioles are going to tie this game. And Mayo will end in third with a tying triple.
Come on now.
A comeback from cavernous depths. 7-0 in the seventh against Tarik Skubal. How in the world have the Orioles done this?
Mr. Mayo.
A 3-2 pitch. Toward the middle, through the middle. A base hit for Colton Cowser. Just his fifth of the year off a left-handed pitcher in an at-bat where he fought his way back from 0-2. He has restored the Oriole advantage.
That was so good, wasn't it?
Valencia, who's up there with runners at second and third. 10-9 Orioles in the 12th.
Swinging a ground ball to short. Henderson with a runner, Malgeri in the way, makes the play. And the Orioles finally get the knockout blow. They come back from down 7 in the seventh and launch one of the most improbable comeback wins in the history of the franchise to take down the Tigers.
Masson and the Orioles Radio Network. Wow, what a day. It is a Thursday edition of Glenn Clark Radio. I'm Glenn, he's Griffin, and this is very cool for me. I know I never like saying things like this because it's going to make me sound like I'm telling him he's old. I've listened to this guy for forever. And I've always admired him, and he is so uniquely Baltimore, despite the fact that he's run away from us a time or two. Speaking of the Orioles Radio Network, you hear him every afternoon, Kirk and Marianne on 98 Rock. The great Kirk McEwen is in studio with us today here on GCR. Dude, it's so great to have you here, bro. I can't even put into words.
And like I tweeted out, did Kyle Shanahan cancel or you couldn't get Shaq
Kirk
today?
Always blows me up. Kirk goes out every time I'm over at the building. Actually, so I think everybody knows Kirk's brother, who's a legend in this business.
Mark McEwen, if you don't, he's been gone for a while. He's still with us.
An absolute icon in broadcasting. Mark was just over there at the station. You just was in town, and you had him over there hanging out in studio. And I was sitting over in, I think they call it the newsroom, prepping my show. Kirk goes out of his way, walks over, and blows me up in front of Mark. It's just like, you don't know how great this guy is. And I'm just like, yo.
Yeah.
He's Mark McEwen.
Yeah.
Like,
you know
I know
what?
who he is.
You've tapped into something. It's crazy. I was like, you look at the Ravens website, and it's like just has been on Glenn Clark Radio. John Harbaugh's driving out of one winning drive, doing an interview with Glenn Clark Radio, and the list goes on and on. You and Griffin do a great job, and the people behind the scenes, and like I also tweeted out, nationally recognized great podcast,
dude,
and awesome guests.
It is an honor. It really is to have you over here, man.
Yeah,
and it's been so great. As I said, like getting to hang out, doing the draft with you this year. I said this, like, it's been really cool for me. Everybody over there has been great since I came over there. But, like, getting to do opening day with Mills and then the draft with you in the same couple of weeks span, it was a very pinch me type of, like, moment for me where I'm like, dude, these are the guys that I have loved and admired for years. And now I'm getting to work major events with these guys. Like, it's just awesome.
You, Keith Mills, and I are on my Frameo on my desk. I get to see
that
every
picture
day.
from opening day really makes me happy.
And how old were you when I started part-time at 98 Rock in 1984?
When I say the number, you're not going to like it. I
wasn't born yet.
I was one. Hey! I was 1 year old. I was one.
Great. So I got you by 18.
Yeah,
18 years.
by a minute.
That's
by
good.
a minute. 19. I was 1 month old the last time the Orioles won the World Series.
Oh, my God.
So
well, you're due.
I've been asking for it.
Yeah.
I've been begging for it. What a day yesterday, man. I know this is the weird world for Kirk. Kirk was out at Ravens camp yesterday broadcasting live, but of course 98 Rock airs the games.
Yeah.
So you kind of got like one eye on one eye on the other. You're getting ready for your own show. You're doing practice and interviews. What a wild day for you, man.
That's radio for you, GC.
That's true. Those are the days you live for, right?
Yeah, so because of the Orioles being on 98 Rock, the game started at 1:10. My show with Marianne starts at 2. So we usually are out of the facility doing a show just there the whole time, and we get players after they come off the field. But this time we just got a few players that we were to interview and then get the sound and play it back. Now the Orioles decided they weren't giving
They're
up
going
the
to play
airtime.
forever, yeah.
Right, yeah.
Right.
So we were on from 4:45 until 6:15 or so. Pull the curtain back. We tape our last segment. So we had to get in Mark Andrews, Tavius Robinson, and Jalen Hawkins pretty quick.
Yeah, but that's, by the
But
way,
yeah.
not a bad trio, not a bad little way to spend a Wednesday afternoon is talking to those guys.
Tavius Robinson was so sweaty, it's like he ran through a car wash. He was so
Just
sweaty.
dripped.
It was great, man.
And it wasn't even like a terribly hot day yesterday. It wasn't even like yesterday. It was miserable.
It was beautiful.
Yeah.
How I should have just stayed with sports broadcasting. I thought maybe I'll go to a smaller city and be a play-by-play guy. And I decided it was too tough. I was making a little too much money to give that up, and I started to, I want to go to Richmond or somewhere like that, and I kind of didn't. I was lucky to be able to start in Baltimore.
Mm-hmm. All right, I want to talk about you. I actually literally, because you and I have just never had this conversation before,
Right.
And I'm a Kirk McEwen fan, so I want to know more about that. Let's talk quickly about the game yesterday.
It was great
because, I mean, it was epic. I mean, it was just. I actually left for a minute when it got to. I walked. I mean, I was still like listening in my car to Josh and to Brett, but I was like everybody else beside my burn it all down. It's just
after 14 zip the day before.
Correct. 14-0 and then 7-0. You're just infuriated.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, and even when it got to 7-5, I got back in here and I said to Griffin, I'm like, it would actually be so much worse for them to have done all of this to come back and lose this baseball game somehow.
We haven't come this far to get this far.
Man, and the macro versus the micro. The micro is this is sports, right? Like you are a sports fan.
Yeah.
Because sometimes there's going to be a day like yesterday.
Right.
Sometimes the Orioles were bad last year, but when I took my kids on September 6th last year, and Yamamoto was no-hitting them until 2 outs in the 9th inning, and then all of a sudden they won the baseball game, my kids will think about that night for the rest of their lives. They will tell their kids about the time that their dad took them to that baseball game. That's why we like sports.
Yes.
And why we watch is because you don't know what you're going to watch each day. You don't know if that might be the day where you just see something you've never seen before.
I remember the instant classic Duke versus Maryland back in the day when I wanted to rip my hair out. And it's just one of those,
10 points in the final minute. Thanks for reminding me about that. Thanks for that reminder.
There's kids that were at Comerica yesterday that are going to remember this game because they were cheering and eating their ice cream out of a helmet.
And it was
things like
Tarik Skubal Day, and they were celebrating that.
All they had to do was get him out of the game to get into that bullpen and then get. But those kids will remember how they felt when they thought that they were going to win that game,
100%.
and they didn't.
That's the micro is that's why we sports.
Yes.
That's why and I talk about it all the time. Like I tell this, there are just some times where you watch something and you got to see something special and it gives you goosebumps.
Yeah.
And yesterday was one of those days on the micro. I love that. It's why we all do this. It's why we put up, if you're a hardcore sports fan, 140 of the baseball games that you watch during the course of the year are going to be pedestrian.
Yes.
They're just going to be baseball games, the game that happened that day. But like 15 of them are going to be pretty fun, and 5 of them are going to be otherworldly. And yesterday, obviously, otherworldly.
Squirrel game, too. You had to.
It was. We did get the squirrel. God, I hate how into the squirrel I was. Bro, I was so into the damn squirrel.
Yeah.
I was so into it. Like
we don't see black squirrels around here.
It's true. We don't. Well, wait a second. Why they got to be black squirrels? Why they got to be?
You got to ask Detroit.
They got to be black squirrels.
Right.
I don't know about you, but I don't see color. I don't.
Yeah. I've seen so many gray squirrels. If I don't ever see another one, I'll be fine.
I mean, they're everywhere, no doubt. So the micro is just what a day.
Yeah.
What a day. And like it's a little bit of everything. It's Kobe Mayo going right on right? Like it's then obviously Colton Cowser, as Kevin Brown alluded to, who had 5 hits off lefties all season long.
Yeah.
In a spot where there were 2 outs and he had to have a hit.
And Jackson Holliday looks like Wade Boggs.
Jackson Holliday, who for some reason didn't start yesterday.
Yeah.
But when they needed him, he delivered.
He's been handling his business. It's been really fun to watch for a guy who's probably been pressing his whole career.
Yeah, 100%. Awesome day. The macro, does it change the strategy at the trade deadline? I don't know. I think you guys know my opinion. I think they should look to be doing both things. I think they should both look to be acquiring and to maybe be moving, as much as it kills me. And yesterday wasn't Trevor Rogers' fault. The defense was abominable.
Yeah.
And he wasn't great. He wasn't brilliant, but I can give him a pass for that because, again, so much of that yesterday was about the defense.
Sounds like you're moving Trevor Rogers.
I'm listening on Trevor Rogers.
Okay.
I'm not just moving him for the sake of moving him, but if Trevor Rogers, who obviously Skubal is going to be the top pitcher, but like behind that, I don't know what other pitchers are really going to be in insane demand. If you can get a haul for Trevor Rogers and maybe either acquire another pitcher now or use that haul to try to find you a Trevor Rogers replacement in the offseason, I'm listening. That's been my point about Trevor Rogers. I don't want to.
Yeah.
But he says he's not signing an extension, so I'm listening.
Sure,
That's
yeah.
it. I'm listening. So I don't think that yesterday alone changes the strategy.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think suddenly you say, well, now they won this one baseball game, so they're winning the World Series.
Yeah.
I just think that it was a really fun day, and let's see how it carries over against the Phillies this weekend.
There's been a few series this year that have shown me the Orioles can play with anybody.
Of
One
course.
comes to the Dodgers. They could have swept the Dodgers,
100%.
but they've done Oriole-type things where they
The Rays, right? Like,
Yeah.
100%.
consistently inconsistent.
That's
I don't
the
know if you reward them with being buyers at the trade deadline.
I think if it's both, I think if you're both looking for pieces that can help, particularly beyond this year,
Yeah.
I am always interested in if there's a piece, if there's a pitcher, if you think Reed Detmers can help you this year and next year,
Yeah.
I'm interested. Let's talk about that.
Well,
They could use an outfield bat for sure. Obviously, the biggest story to your point of the last couple of weeks is Jackson Holliday. That would go a very long way if these are the moments where Jackson Holliday is changing his narrative and is becoming the player that the Orioles clearly thought he was going to be when they took him number 1 overall.
you can't discount the impact that the injuries have had,
No
too, with
question.
Jordan Westberg not stepping on the field at all
question.
this year, and the absence lately of Blaze Alexander, who I had no idea
Yep.
was going to be the
Rock star.
kind of ball player
Rock star.
that he turned out to be. That guy's got he's got skills.
But nothing has hurt them to me more than the outfield just being there's been so little production at all from the outfield, and then Gunnar Henderson. Like it has killed them that Gunnar Henderson has been such a pedestrian version of himself this season.
I'm not used to all the strikeouts.
Yep. He's just looked lost. He's
Yeah.
looked lost. Could that change? It's like, as I keep saying, is it possible that the same way that Jackson Holliday is coming to life, and I think I'm a little bit more with you that if that's the case, it's more about just feeling good again after the injury.
Mm-hmm.
But is it possible that Gunnar Henderson could wake up on August 1st and suddenly he's Gunnar Henderson again?
Yes,
It's possible,
Yeah.
right? Like Adley Rutschman went the better part of 2 years not looking like Adley Rutschman and then became Adley Rutschman again. So obviously it can happen, but can you bank on that? Can you assume that? Can you say, hey, we've got to be aggressive because maybe Gunnar Henderson's going to – it's tough. It's really tough for me. Hell of a baseball game, hell of a day. You were with the Ravens.
The Ravens, there's an energy, and it's palpable around that team now just because of Jesse Minter and this new infusion of coaching and players. Every year's different. No matter how much you retain your team from the year before, it's going to be vastly different. And this year, new coaching staff, new uniforms, new voice of the Ravens, new play-by-play guy. I threw my hat in the ring for the public address announcer job, and I'm happy with the guy they got.
Obviously, everybody saw the video. His voice is fantastic. I mean, he definitely has that voice.
I wish I had revved it up a little bit. 2-time MVP.
I mean,
3-time. I wish I had.
The chess piece.
I just did it one time. The things that they asked for, I should have gone back and been like, let me try it again.
I'll be the one to say it because you can't.
Yeah.
What I would have done is I would have sent an email that said, I'm Kirk McEwen.
Yeah.
And that would have been that. I would have said, this to me is like them asking, remember when Steve Spurrier went to the NFL?
Yeah.
And then the Florida job came open, and they asked him to come interview for the job?
The old ball coach.
He's Steve Spurrier.
Yeah.
Hey, if I'm Steve Spurrier, my interview is a middle finger. And if I remember correctly, the story was that he sent a message that said, "Go look at your trophy case."
Oh, that's great.
That's with respect.
Yeah.
If The Ravens, love you, love the Ravens. But if I'm Kirk McEwen and they say, hey, you want to come interview for the job? I say, yeah, I'm Kirk McEwen.
Congratulations, JP.
JP's great.
I look forward
He's
to
great.
hearing
Yep.
you all season long and for many to come.
I obviously the big story yesterday was Nnamdi Madubuike was out there.
I almost passed out.
Yeah.
When I heard that he was off the PUP list, and I looked over there he is. There's 92 on the field.
And we heard from Jesse Minter afterwards they're going to take it easy with him, which makes all the sense in the world, and we'll see. He wouldn't be playing in the preseason anyway.
No.
Like they would never do that. I think to me the more interesting one is when they do these joint practices as camp goes on. Do they have him participate in those? Because that's when guys can get a little more ramped up and a little bit. That's the old preseason games are now those joint practices where this is your chance to be competitive
right
before the season begins. So if they let him participate in those, I think that's a huge statement about the faith they have in him to be ready to play a significant number of snaps when the season begins.
Brother, man, that's your neck. That's your neck. It's attached to your helmet.
Man, look, he had access to all the best doctors in the world. Like if he's good, he's good. This is eternally. This is always a difficult conversation to have with football players, right? Because like Tua, this conversation comes up a lot, where it's easy for us to say, dude, what are you doing?
Yeah,
like stop it. Go and have a good life, brother. You've made money. You're going to be okay money-wise. You can always go do something else, broadcast, coach, whatever you want to do. Don't do this to yourself. But then you talk to a football player, and they say, no, I understand exactly why he's still doing this. Like, if this is my body, I get to make this choice. I have a limited amount of time in which I can do something like this. I'm going to give it every opportunity. And I get it. I understand that thought process. And obviously for us, we want Nnamdi Madubuike out there because he can be a game changer. I mean, he was when 2 years ago he was playing at I don't want to say Aaron Donald level, but just a step below an Aaron Donald level.
No question about it.
But man, it's tough because there is that part of you when you're like, am I comfortable with it? Do I love that dude's risking his neck? Like, there is an awkwardness to all of this.
Well, you look at a Ravens defensive line that would feature Nnamdi Madubuike, Travis Jones, Calais Campbell with Trey Hendrickson and Mike Green coming off the side. That's formidable. And I think that if Nnamdi is back and healthy, that does so much. It just lifts all the boats. There's another side of the story, though, when you look at the San Francisco 49ers linebacker, I guess his name was Chris Borland, who played for a couple of years and decided, you know what, I'm going to jump off. Yeah, I think I've made enough money.
And look, Patrick Willis played a little bit longer than Borland did, but like Patrick Willis at a very young age just said, no, like it's not worth it for me. I'm not doing it.
But look, you have a window of opportunity. And I had an argument with somebody like Tom Brady. Just quit. You won 6 Super Bowls. Why are you going to?
Is it worth
continue?
losing your wife? Is it worth losing your wife over this?
I don't know. We can't see into the bedroom. We don't know what's going on. But what did he do? He went and won another Super Bowl to forever cement his legacy.
Oh, and that one, that was more about the Belichick ego thing. Like, that was more about, like, I needed to do this to show everyone it was me more than it was him.
No question about it.
I had to get that one more.
But I've been watching Joe Flacco on this quarterback thing, and at 41 or so, you still have the ability to spin a football better than most, and people still want you to play. Why wouldn't you?
I don't know how much you know about my relationship with Joe, but I've been friends with Joe for a very long time. Joe's a 10 as a human. Like, one of my favorites.
And you get that from the doc.
And like when I found that he was going to do this, I was like, oh, this is going to be perfect because like that Thursday night game last year, the Bengals versus the Steelers.
Oh, he lit them up.
And then him at the podium afterwards was one of my favorite moments of the year because he was just that was when he talked about like eating by himself at a restaurant and like he was just really kind of bearing his soul about why he's doing it. It's funny because I've got buddies who work for the NFL. So Joe was on my show like 2 weeks ago and one of the clips got a lot of traction and my buddies were like, I thought he didn't care about football. I never thought he'd be the guy that was still doing this. I'm like, you miss it with Joe because he is kind of aloof. He is kind of But
don't think he don't love the game.
Ask anyone who was ever around him.
Yeah.
Like, he is deeply invested. The way that people would say, like, oh, I don't think he was going out of his way for Lamar. Lamar loves Joe. Loves Joe. Remember when they saw each other at NFL Honors a couple years ago? Lamar, like, went running up to him and threw himself around him. And, Joe's just not that, like... He's like, like he gives the half hug.
Side hug. As kids give their mom.
He's more of that type of guy. And like early on, when Joe and I would interact, I was like, does this guy hate me? Because we talked his rookie season, we had a deal at the old radio station where he was coming on with us once a week, and then we had to. He wrote a column for us.
Oh, yeah.
Which was just Drew or I calling him on Wednesday night and saying, what do we put in this column this week? And him saying, I don't know, man. What should we say?
Yeah.
But like they would be, and that you would hear that, and you'd be like, man, is this guy annoyed by me? Does he not want me to talk to him?
Well,
and then you get to know him, and he's really thoughtful. Like the stuff with the trophy is so thoughtful to me.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I really thought this was going to matter, but as it turns out, it doesn't really matter to me, and it was just somewhere buried in my dad's garage.
Finds his ring, and it's like, the kids love it.
Yeah, right? Like, but what he says about that resonates with you. I just went to Tanzania a couple weeks ago, right?
Brilliant.
Dude, it was a trip of a lifetime.
Can't
As I
believe it.
told you, it's just, I'll never be able to explain.
Yeah.
So when you're there, you're like, I gotta get souvenir. I have to buy things. So I will have this. And then you realize a week later, like, I don't care about any of these physical things. What you care about is the experience that you had.
Bro, if I could get a spear, I'm
well,
bringing
yeah,
that home.
Sure.
Yeah.
I don't know if they would have let me
Give me
bring
a
the
nose
spear on
ring.
the plane.
Come
I didn't
on.
go the nose ring route.
All
I didn't
right.
go that route. But I did get like a Tanzania a soccer scarf.
Now we're talking.
And like I bought a bunch of stuff, but I realized like the stuff isn't the part that matters. It's the memories that my kids are going to be able to talk about this for the rest of their life. For the rest of my life, I'm going to remember taking a hot air balloon ride over the Serengeti and Joe saying, dude, it's not that it doesn't matter to me. The memories matter to me. The experience, the accomplishment of winning the Super Bowl is the most important thing ever.
Yeah, you
But
need to take my kids to Tanzania next time,
Hey,
can you?
bro, let's make
Jeez.
it. I will go back.
They'll
I will
never
go
forget
back.
that
It's
trip
the
you take them on.
greatest thing that I can't
That
even
would
put
be
into words. It
perfect.
was so perfect. But yeah, the Joe it's special in that way.
And he's fun to watch. Cam Ward, they could have done without, I thought, in the documentary.
Yeah.
Jaden, I liked watching him, and I guess it was Baker Mayfield.
Jaden's really likable.
Yeah.
He's quite likable.
Well, his mom thought it was about her.
Yeah, that's the right.
So that was.
But Jaden,
She was a big part of things.
We
wasn't
actually-
she?
She was.
I forgot we had Jaden on this show a couple years
See
ago.
that? See
yeah,
that?
it's the number of times that I forget about like a guest that we've had on at some point.
He knows more about this than he's forgotten more about this than you
so,
know.
It's so wild. But like Jaden was awesome.
He is.
Like
He
he
is,
came on some podunk podcast in Baltimore
Yeah.
when he was getting ready for the draft. And he killed. He slayed. Like, he was into it. He was great. I'm like, this guy is incredibly... I hate saying this, too, because we had a run with LSU quarterbacks. You know who also was a killer guest? Was Burrow. Like,
Oh, yeah.
Burrow was an amazing guest. Like,
As you would expect him to be.
yeah, he was awesome. And I hate that because I know we're supposed to hate Joe Burrow now, but, like, I'll never hate that guy.
That's
he
good.
was so incredibly likable. Give me your... Because I want to talk about your history in a minute. But give me your... You've been able to meet people... interview, hang out backstage.
Yeah.
I always the way that I frame the question when I do it is give me your pinch me moment. Like I always, whenever we have someone who's been successful, who's accomplished things, I like to ask the question, what is your pinch me moment? Like what is the I can't believe I'm doing this. I can't believe this is real and this is actually my life. And I've had a bunch.
Yeah.
And I'm not Kirk McEwen. But, like, I think about I was in Arizona when 2 years that I lived out there, and I was covering the Diamondbacks in the NLCS, and I was walking up a ramp, and this gentleman was walking slowly next to me and stopped me and said, son, could you kind of hold my arm and walk with me? And it was Frank Robinson.
How about that?
And then I got to tell Frank Robinson how much he meant to my father.
What are the chances in Arizona?
It just happened to work out that way,
Yeah.
right? Like, and that to me stands out. Griffin and I were talking the other day about like uniquely. I Muhammad Ali lived in Arizona when I lived in Arizona, and I saw him. I was probably around Muhammad Ali 100 times.
He's my cousin. Did you know that?
Shut the F up.
Yeah.
No, he's not.
Yeah.
Shut the F up.
My father's mother's name was Julia Clay, and she grew up in Louisville. Yeah. Yeah, Julia Clay. Now, listen, I never went on 23andMe or anything to check, but I'll tell you what, my son looks like him when he was young. My father looks like him a little bit.
I'm peeling back layers.
Isn't
bro.
that crazy? Yeah, Cassius Clay and Julia Clay were probably related.
That was so unique to me because it was something that I shared.
That's big. I never met him.
And he didn't want anybody to know that he was in bad condition, and we just talked, and like that to me is I can't believe I got to do that. It was so happenstance. A couple of them, right? Because I'm sure you could do this for an hour. But if you had to do your pinch me moments, what have been the great pinch me moments in your life?
There's a couple. One that really stands out is 1996, working at 98 Rock and going out to cover the Grammys in California and having my brother being on the TV station that carried the Grammys.
CBS, sure, right.
So upstairs, there was Entertainment Tonight, Access Hollywood, CBS, and maybe Rolling Stone. And the winners would, by one, come by, and other dignitaries. But being there for a week in L.A., staying at the Mondrian Hotel, and Liza Minnelli coming through that rotating door that you come in.
Man.
I interviewed Mike Mills from REM and forgot to press record. And so when I saw him the next day, I said, Mike, I can't believe it, but I didn't record. Could I get you again? And he very graciously granted me another interview.
Wow, that's cool.
Being at the Viper Room, watching Michael DeBar's band, and having
Adam Duritz wasn't your bartender, was he?
He might have been.
Yeah, right.
I was sitting down, but Beverly D'Angelo, is that her name?
From Vacation.
She was looking at me thinking I was Darius Rucker because they won Best New Artist that year. When the lights came up, she looked at me and went, "Get
Do you know Darius?
I do.
Okay, so
I was at his hotel room. Darius Rucker came to my house when I lived in Baltimore, right off of Martin Luther King Boulevard. Somebody called and said, "Bro, Darius Rucker just walked into the horse you came in on." So the girl I was seeing at the time, Julie, I said, "Do you want to go down there?" And she said, yeah. So we jumped in our car. We went down to the horse you came in on. And I swear to God, I walked in and I saw some guy back up from Darius go, "My bad, dude. I thought you were Kirk."
Shut up.
Yeah. So
Shut up.
I sang with Darius, let her cry or something. We went back to my house, pulled a couple of tubes, and Darius said, "You don't look like me. You're better looking than I am."
Oh, my God, man.
Fast forward to the Grammys. I go up to his hotel room. He's got 1 million people standing around there listening to Fairweather Johnson, the second album. And he says,
like Tucker's Town and all that.
"You don't look like me. You're fatter than I am." I said, "Check, please. I'm getting out of here." But the whole Grammy situation, meeting all these people, and meeting David Bowie. My brother did a show called A&E Live by Request, and people could fax in, call in, shout it out from the audience. Play Modern Love, play Ziggy Stardust. After the show, David, who had just gotten his teeth done, he had bad teeth most of his life, but he just gotten them. Oh, yeah. Go back and look at early David Bowie pictures and then look at him later. And he's gleaming, smiling so big when he got his teeth done. But I got to go back to his hotel and meet him for just a brief second. Wow. And I'm a huge David Bowie fan, and that was way up there.
Wow, man.
Those are just a couple of instances. And winning pitch hit and run when I didn't win, but I got second place. And to be 12 years old and sit up on the dais with Pete Rose and his son Pete Jr., Rich Goose Gossage.
Holy crap.
Jim Palmer started that game and gave up a home run right first batter. Joe Morgan hits a ball out of the ballpark. But here I am at 12 years old at Yankee Stadium, running around the bases for a time, throwing the ball up and hitting it fungo style, and then pitching 3 balls into a net. Now, I didn't win, but that was one of the best. Seeing Ken Singleton, who I loved, he'd always bend down and pick 3 stones out of the batter's box before he batted. Did you know that?
I don't think I ever knew that.
Ken Singleton would always come to the batter's box and bend down and pick 3 stones out, just like Mike Hargrove was the human rain delay. Ken Singleton, that was his thing, and then he would settle in whether he's batting right or left. But Singy, and then I tried out when he left Channel 13, I tried to get that job, and I lost out to Chris Ely. Many thought I should have gotten that job. but they thought I was going to get the job, get good, and go off somewhere else.
Take it bigger,
and then they would have to do it again. But though,
people forget that Ken just literally was like Mark Viviano. Like he was just working as the sports director, like at WJZ. Like
and then he went to New York to do the broadcast on the Yankees.
Those are pretty good, man. Those
yeah.
That didn't suck.
Yeah, those are fun.
That was a decent. I knew I would get a good story out of that.
I remember.
I've had a lot of people actually tell me, because I don't even remember 98 Rock playing Hootie and the Blowfish.
Yeah.
But I've had so many people tell me that they discovered Hootie and the Blowfish because of you.
I saw their first video for Hold My Hand. I was like, I had to rub my eyes.
That's a brother,
I don't
right?
remember
Yeah.
doing. No, I thought it was me.
Oh,
he looked just like me. I mean, you turned the hat around and had the goatee, and I played it up at the Grammys. And Darius and I, we took a picture together, and we looked sort of
That's
similar.
so cool, man.
Julie's got that picture. I know she does.
So
Willie Mays told me I looked like Tony Dorsett when I was 12 years old, because Tony Dorsett had just won the Heisman.
Kind of see something. I could kind of see that.
Yeah.
At the risk of doing like a all black dudes look alike, and I don't want to do that. I don't want to have that conversation.
Willie Mays is the greatest ball player ever.
Just the fact that Willie Mays told you that.
Oh my God!
Stop.
Hank Aaron was across the street, and my parents were like, "Go get his autograph." And I'm like, "I'm not going to." And I mean, it's Hank Aaron.
Man, that's cool.
Yeah,
that's so cool.
As a young kid, you just doesn't get much better than that.
I want to talk more about your history. I want to talk more about you, how you became Kirk McEwen, Baltimore radio icon.
Yeah.
We're gonna grab a break. We come back in. Kirk McEwen's here. Still to come today. A couple of really good guests. Top Orioles prospect Enrique Bradfield Jr. is going to join us, and it's a day for juniors. Former Red Sox outfielder, boo, but Jackie Bradley Jr., for those that don't know, it's very cool. He's now playing for the Indianapolis Clowns in Banana Ball and is coming to Bowie this weekend. I'm looking forward to this. I'm really looking forward to chatting with him.
Guys that are juniors and guys with Brad in their name.
It's true, right?
Yeah.
Like, how did that Brad Jr.? It became a big Brad Jr. day today. I don't know what's going on with that. But that's all still to come. Kirk McEwen, 98 Rock, in studio with us. It is a Thursday edition of Glenn Clark Radio.
The stars are shining brighter at Live Casino this summer. Celebrate America's 250th with $1 million. Earn entries daily July 1st through August 29th and snap a pic with our game board for a chance to win $100 in free play every week. We'll draw 50 free play winners each Saturday and $1 million winner on August 29th. Light it up at Live Casino. At Arundel Mills, must be 21. Please play responsibly. For help, visit mdgamblinghelp.org or call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Your car is more than just a ride. It's an investment. At Leading Edge Auto Body in Mount Washington, we've spent over 20 years perfecting the art of repair. From high-end imports to your trusted daily driver, we handle all makes and models with elite precision. Our team holds the highest honors in the industry, including ASE Master, iCar Platinum, and specialized aluminum certifications. We make it easy with free towing, pickup, and delivery, because at Leading Edge, customer satisfaction comes first. And remember, with insurance, it's your car and it's your choice. Choose the experts. Leading Edge Auto Body. Quality you can see. Service you can trust. Go to leadingedgeautobody.com today.
Gambling can be a fun and entertaining experience, but there are risks involved. If you're planning on betting on the game at the casino or on your phone or computer, know your limit, stay within it. Set a budget and a time to stop. Remember, gambling isn't a financial solution, and it doesn't mix well with alcohol or drugs. Know the risks and have a plan before you begin gambling. For free and confidential services, call 1-800-GAMBLER 24/7 or go to helpmygamblingproblem.org.
This is Byron Warnkin. If you've been injured in a car or truck crash, you probably know this is stressful. Medical bills, the insurance company giving you the runaround, you got to get your car fixed. You don't just need a lawyer, you need results. At Warnkin LLC, we represent the injured across Maryland. Whether it's a car or truck crash case, medical malpractice, or any other serious personal injury, we fight for maximum compensation for you and maximum ease for you. You don't want to have to deal with this stuff. Warnkin LLC has been voted best personal injury law firm in Maryland for a reason. For us, 443 Results isn't just a phone number, it's our mission. Get the advocate that you need. Call us today, 443 Results, or visit us online, warnkinlaw.com. That's WARNKENLAW.com.
Make the most out of every day in your Toyota RAV4. Available in hybrid or gas-only models. A RAV4 can get you where you want to go in style. Check out buyatoyota.com for deals on new RAV4s from your local Toyota dealer today.
When you feel invisible, exhausted, stressed, or anxious, and you have days that just feel too hard to get through, you are not alone. If you or someone you love is struggling with mental health or problems with drugs or alcohol, help is right in your hands. Call or text 988 to get support whenever you need it. Help is here. Call or text 988. Brought to you by Maryland Department of Health.
Coming back in here with Glenn and the other guy, Garrett, whatever his name is. You know who they are.
All right, so Kirk told us something earlier because I was talking about we had Wendell Pierce on the show yesterday, which is, but if you ask me how my week's been, that's what I'm going to tell you is I had Wendell Pierce on the show yesterday.
I drift off into the ether.
Bro,
yeah.
There are only a few. There have been a few over the years.
That's great.
And when Griffin said, "Hey, by the way, we got Wendell Pierce," I said, "Brother, you have earned you have earned
Damn
every
you,
ounce
Wendell.
of." God, I love that man. I did ask him, ironically, because we're about to play this clip. Giancarlo Esposito came to Comic-Con last year.
Okay.
And I actually asked Griffin to track down Giancarlo Esposito, and he was not able to. And it's bothered me because
it's the first that slipped through.
Famously, we were just talking during the break, Kirk and I, about my former producer, Ryan Schell, who worked over at the
Great
BAL.
dude.
And when I first started doing afternoons on the old radio station, and Ryan was my producer, I wanted to challenge him, right?
Uh-huh.
Because I had taught him kind of booking and all of that. And I said, hey, Stan Lee is coming to Comic-Con this year.
Whoa.
Try to get Stan Lee on.
Oh, try to get vice president.
Okay, well, he got Stan Lee on.
Damn right he did.
He got Stan Lee on, and it's the thing that I, like on a rainy day, when I'm having a difficult day, I will never forget that at the end of a conversation, Stan Lee said to me, "Thanks, Glenn, and you're a hell of a good interviewer."
Oh, God.
And I went on dark day, Kirk, on dark days,
Yeah.
I've got that.
That's so strong.
I've got that. I can go
And
back
true,
to
and
that
true.
moment,
Yeah.
and it gets me through.
Yeah.
So we were just talking about Wendell Pierce and The Wire, and Kirk, I did not know this, told us that he played a dead guy on Homicide.
At first I thought it was on The Wire, and then I had to reshuffle the deck.
Remember
And
which one it was.
Life on the Street.
So Griffin believes he's found it.
I believe so, yes. Yeah.
This was Homicide the movie.
This was like the finale, right? To
Yes.
the show. I got to watch this show. I have not watched it.
The year 2000, is that when
That's when the movie came. Yeah, that was the finale
They
to the
put it back
show.
on Peacock a couple years ago, and I got like
Was it on HBO at 1.2?
I got like a season in of rewatching Homicide, and I do need to go back and finish. I was a very young man at this point in my life.
Yeah, it gave Baltimore kind of a bad
It
reputation around the country.
Definitely did.
But it's
a hell of a show.
Baltimore, actually, I like it.
And Andre Braugher is brilliant, who, of course, the younger people know from Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
He's no longer with us.
Yeah, it's God, what a genius that guy. It's big. Wendell Pierce, like Andre Braugher, is just
made an impact on young GC.
Man. So Griffin, you've got the clip?
Thanks, Ed. You're a hell of a good interviewer. I enjoyed talking to you.
Yeah, that's the better clip. Thank you for that
God.
clip.
Oh.
Thank you for that one.
Oh, that's really
my
good.
God,
Stan
man.
Lee.
I have that.
With the new Spider-Man coming out.
Dude, I think about that so frequently. All right.
Thanks, Ed. You're a hell of a good interviewer. I enjoyed talking to you.
He knows what works for me. He knows.
Yeah.
He knows.
He carry that through.
We've been doing this for a while. All right, so this is Homicide the movie.
Yes.
And you believe you found Kirk McEwen dead guy in this.
Yin yang.
I don't want to get in trouble. I don't know how much of it we have to...
Examine the concept. That's all I'm saying. Yo, officer. Gentlemen.
Mike Giardello. As I live and as I breathe. I heard you traded the Bureau for a beat.
Working on my detective shield.
You love a man in uniform.
Did I miss him?
Check you out.
There's a better
Your
shot.
pop's out there
You can see him in the
stumping for
back.
mayor, and you're back here having yourself a little yard sale.
Oh, it's been a real media circus. Every time I open the front door, it's like candid camera.
Hey, Alan Funt was a great American, okay? And I took his passing very, very personally. So what we got here?
Local dealer, shot in the head, then dead about a day.
Does our deadhead have a name?
Joseph Hardwick, a.k.a.
Man.
Yin Yang.
Yin yang.
Looks like he should have yin.
Looks like he
Man.
yin when he should have yang.
Tell me about.
Hey, Mike.
Pretty good. That's pretty
Looks
good.
like he should have yin, but he went ahead and yanged.
So what? You said they filmed this in the winter?
That was in the winter. Laying on the ground in Canton.
My God.
And you were not allowed to breathe because you're
dead.
Get that,
Yeah,
right.
You're dead.
Yeah. Cut. Kirk, listen. We're gonna shoot it again. Listen. Take a deep breath and hold it for 15 or 20 seconds. All right, ready? Quiet on the set. Action. And then I got it on the second one, but you would try and sneak a breath in, and steam comes out, and you have ruined the scene.
Man, that is cool.
That's what you learn on the go.
Have you done other acting? Have you done?
Yeah. Not a lot, but I was in Crybaby. That's my big one.
Oh, wow, yeah.
Yeah, I was convict number 1 in Crybaby, and
nice.
You don't see me, but you hear me. I'm in a cell in Jessup.
Okay. Now, how are the residuals for the for convict number 1 in Crybaby?
They weren't bad at first.
Yeah?
I was getting checks like $15, $20 the first year or two.
Hey, man.
I got one for $1.12 in February. So I'm looking for another one probably in October. It's like every 6-8 months.
Maybe that one will be 97 cents at this point.
Yeah, it starts out like $3.40, and then people, they want to take some of it.
Yeah.
So when
man.
it gets to me, it's like $1. But yeah, Johnny Depp asked me for a Marlboro when I was smoking.
That's cool.
Yeah, he was just off 21 Jump Street. That was his first major motion picture. Now look at him. He's Jack Sparrow.
It worked out all right for him.
It did.
Worked out decently for him despite his trials and tribulations.
Those are my 2 big credits.
That's awesome. That's awesome. All right, I want to know about Kirk McEwen. Kirk McEwen in studio with us today here on GCR. Today's show brought to you by the new print issue of Press Box, which is available for free right now at your Baltimore area High's Dairy stores, any of the hundreds of locations around town where you find Press Box.
The young Kevin Brown on the cover.
Who's outstanding.
Yeah.
Who's just really, really good. Great cover story about Kevin. Go pick that up right now. You can read it all at PressBoxOnline.com. Give me when did you know you wanted to do this? And did you always know that you wanted to be a DJ? Did you want to get into sports broadcasting? Start me from the beginning of how the path began for Kirk McEwen.
Just like any young boy, I wanted to be a truck driver, see the country, from a big seat up in the big rig.
It's so funny you said it. Mrs. Clark, we were one time watching, what's the Julia Roberts movie, the hooker movie?
Pretty Woman?
Pretty Woman. We're watching Pretty Woman. And she said, because we were young when that movie came out, she was like, I watched it, and then I looked up at my parents and said,
That's what
I want to be a hooker. She got to meet Richard Gere and fall in love. Why wouldn't a young lady at that point want to be a hooker?
Richard Gere's name in that movie is one of my best friends named Ed Lewis.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, that's how I know his name, but I don't know why. And then I saw Rocky, and I went jogging around the neighborhood drinking cups of
eggs,
raw eggs. Yeah, that lasted exactly 2 or 3 days. And then my brother went out to California to try and be a comedian.
Okay.
And he did pretty well. He was he came.
Is this Mark or is this your other?
It's Mark.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm the youngest of 6. Mark has by far had the most profound influence on me.
It's cool.
And so Mark went out to California, tried to be a comedian, came back. He got on the radio at Anne Arundel Community College with his friend Tony Coulter, who worked at 98 Rock. Tony Mad Dog Coulter. He was like the first black guy at 98 Rock on the air. And he wasn't there from the start, but he came in quite soon after, like in 1980. The station's going to be 50 years next year.
That's unbelievable, man.
I've been there for 30 of my 42 years in broadcasting. I started in 1984, left a couple of times. But when I saw my brother working on Anne Arundel Community College, and then he would work at WNAV and he'd do a sports broadcast, and I would tape it on cassette for him. He did a live sports cast at like 6:20 Monday through Friday, and that got him a job offer for a station in Detroit, W4. WWWW, Detroit's W4.
I am familiar with,
Howard Stern worked there.
Yeah.
Steve Dahl worked there. And my brother was the music director. And from there he went to the Loop in Chicago. I mean, look at these steps that he's going from Anne Arundel Community College to WKTK, I left out, which is now The Fan, 105.7. From KTK, he goes to W4 in Detroit. From Detroit, he goes to the Loop FM 98 in Chicago, where Chicago rocks.
Yep.
From there, a new
My
radio
buddy
station.
Tim Virgin worked at the Loop for a while.
Yeah, one guy, Tim. Shoot, I forget his name now. Anyway, the Loop. He goes to WAPP in New York. This new rock station. He gets fired from there. No, he got fired from WNEW, and then he goes to CBS and does the weatherman job there for like 18 years, where he's pop music editor and anchor. Works with Bryant Gumbel. Got the live by request on A&E. But I go back to all of the radio things. I'm like, man, this is pretty cool. He's from KTK. He's bringing me home Styx belt buckles and ZZ Top shirts and things like that. I'm wearing them, and black guys at school are like, what's up with you?
What's ZZ Top?
Yeah, what is Styx? Is that a rock band? And I'm like, yeah. So I figured out if I didn't get the big Baltimore O and everything okay and things like that, maybe I could have a job in radio. And so I got a job interview at 19 at 98 Rock. I thought I was going to be an intern, but they just fired somebody, and so they hired me at 19. And so I worked there, went to DC 101, came back to 98 Rock. I went somewhere else, came back to 98 Rock. So it was my brother's influence that got me into radio.
You always were a rock person. Like, this was always your interest. Obviously, everybody knows you're in Petticoat Junction, the Tom Petty Band.
Yeah.
This was just always what your interest was. This wasn't just like what the job that was available was.
Well, people would say, what do you really listen to? And no, it's always been rock and roll. But I mean, Earth, Wind and Fire, the Ohio Players,
Sure.
Brothers Johnson. When I went out to the Grammys, a story I told you earlier, Stevie Wonder walked down the hall, and I was like, Stevie. And Stevie stopped in his tracks, and he pivoted towards where he heard the sound come from and sticks his hand out. And I shook Stevie Wonder's hand, and I tell you, a bolt of lightning ran through my body. It was crazy.
That, man.
And I thanked him for the music, and he smiled and did that Stevie Wonder thing, and then his handlers whisked him down the hall.
Man.
Dave Brubeck came around the corner and went, hey, because he thought I was Darius Rucker.
There you go.
I'm like, Dave Brubeck doesn't know who I am.
Take five.
Yeah,
right?
Hey! Yep. He got all excited to meet me, and I shook his hand, and he kept going. But, yeah, my brother's had a huge impact on me starting in radio. And my father used to sing, so I would watch people come by and go into his studio where he had a little baby grand, and he would, so I saw that, and I knew I could sing. I sang in the chorus when I was a kid, but I didn't know if I could sing in a rock band until I had a chance with a band called Prophecy that were on one of the 98 Rock albums, and we had some karaoke machine up at the radio station, and Tom Myers, who was the promotions director at the time, heard me sing David Lee Roth, Yankee Rose.
Mm-hmm.
I'm talking about a Yankee Rose. And he said, man, you got something there. And so he put me together with his band. We called it Kirk McEwen and the Rock Zone Band. Prophecy would come out, they'd play a set, they'd come off stage, change their clothes, go back out with me in front, and we'd had a band going. So I did that for a while. I put my own bands together, the Kirk McEwen Band, and now Petticoat Junction. I had a band when I was in Tampa, and, it's just a fun outlet. And
I don't want to take anything away from Kirk and Marianne, right?
Yeah.
Which is great. I love you guys together, the whole thing. But so many people associate you when they hear it's Kirk, Mark, and Lopez, right?
Yeah.
And for me, that was, in my formidable radio, I'm interested in getting into radio. Kirk, Mark, and Lopez was Baltimore radio. Like, this was what everyone listened to in town.
Yeah.
How did the three of you come together? How did that chemistry work? Like, tell me about because I can't imagine at that time. This is a time, we know that radio is not what it was. Like,
no, there's been siphoned off by Spotify and podcasting.
But this was at the height of Radio Matters, local Radio Matters, and you were doing the show.
Very edgy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How did all of that come together? What was it like what was that feeling like to be a part of something so special?
Lopez, the erudite, just very plugged in. You either liked him or you didn't, but if you didn't like him, you would listen to get mad at why you didn't, because Lopez was a liberal who shot guns. He was very, just he didn't fit the mold, and he was just a very smart man. But Lopez looked at me at first like I was all style and no substance. I was like, "Sha-na-na-na-na," and screaming over songs and things like that. So he kind of looked at me down his nose a little bit at first. So they brought in Lopez. It was Woodworth and Lopez. It was kind of like a play on Woodward and Lothrop.
Yeah, sure.
And that was one of the first morning shows. And then it was Cordiff, Lopez, and Panzarella.
It's a mouthful.
Alan Cordiff, Lopez, and John Panzarella. And then John Panzarella, you hear him on TV all the time. He does like Brothers Services. He's a voiceover guy out of South Carolina now. All these itinerations of morning shows, and then it was Bird, Mark, and Lopez.
Yep.
And Bird, and the show just wasn't doing what they expected it to do. Bird came from Las Vegas. They thought they were going to have a huge hit on their hand, and the show spun its wheels for a year or two, and then management wanted to shake it up, and so they said, all right, Kirk and Bird are going to play this fictional pool game. Whoever loses needs to get up in the morning and do mornings. So I lost. And so that was a way for them to try me out in the mornings. And I remember interviewing Nikki Sixx's wife, Donna D'Erico.
Ah, yes. Very attractive.
Yeah.
Very, very attractive.
And
she was on Baywatch, right?
She was. So we do this interview, and I go, so Donna, prenup? And she got real quiet. And I go, you're quiet. He had to have a prenup. And we did the interview. Awkwardly, she hangs up. The phone rings. It's Nikki Sixx. And he's pissed. And so we talk to Nikki. We play all this on the air. The boss loves it.
Yeah.
So it's going great. So Bird was moved to the afternoon. I moved into the mornings in 1997, and we went to 2006. And we were beating Howard Stern. We didn't bring light to it, but we were beating Howard Stern in Baltimore.
Well, you were the show. You were the show. You were what people listened to in the morning.
It was a good show. I mean, we did.
And I would say this, people that didn't otherwise listen to 98 Rock listened to Kirk, Mark, and Lopez.
Yeah.
You brought people to 98 Rock because of that show. And obviously, how Lopez...
Lopez passed away in 2005. We left in 2006, went across the street to what is now the Fan. But I think what their motive was to disable the mornings at 98 Rock. And we were only there for a year and 10 months. And then the world fell apart in 2008. And then I call it, that's when I went into the blender. And so I went to my agent. I have an agent in Seattle who's great, Paul Anderson, Workhouse Media. He's like, what do you think about Mobile, Alabama? And I'm like, I'm not going to Alabama. I'm not. So he got me Tampa.
Right.
And I worked with Chris Dingman, who was an enforcer in the
for the Lightning.
NHL. And for the Avs. He won a cup with the Avs and a cup with the Lightning. And I didn't know much about hockey, but, man, I had to ramp it up because here I am working with a guy that skated.
Yeah, the icon. Yeah, 100%. Right?
Yeah, so that show only lasted for a year and a half or so. CBS was bought out by Beasley. Beasley got in there, looked around the cluster. Who's underperforming? Well, the sports station is. Cut December of 2014. So Merry Christmas. We're going to let you go right before Christmas. So I put my tail between my legs and I loaded up the truck and moved on back to Carroll Country.
And did you know that you could go back to 98 Rock? Were you worried that they hated you?
I'd left twice before, Glenn, but I'd never burned my bridge. And that's important if anybody's listening and wondering a way to exit. Don't, tip stuff over.
Yeah, don't go
don't
everyone.
Do that. No.
Yeah, don't go piss on the boss's desk.
No.
Don't do any
Although
of those
you
things.
want to do those
100%.
things or fry them in social media or on the other outlets.
Hang on a second. Now, I have maintained if you make me drive in to fire me, I reserve the right that I get to urinate on any one thing. If you're going to fire me, me. That's fine.
Yeah.
But just let me get on with my day. Call me. Say people are very mad that John Harbaugh got fired on the phone. I'm like, no. No. If you make me take more time out of my day, and then you got to perp walk me out of the building on top of that
with your box in your hand.
No. You can get someone you're paying can go collect my things. And spend more of your money. You fired me. Like, no. You call me at home.
Yeah.
And if you make me go in to fire me, I get to piss on something.
I was working at HFS. It was a day in October. I'm outside grilling burgers at this new house I just built up the street from Cal Ripken.
Oh.
Big house. I didn't know the world was going to fall apart.
Oh.
I'm like, why are they giving me this great deal on
Yeah, it turns out. Yeah, correct.
Man, I'm getting really
yeah.
Honey, hey, honey, get in
Look
here.
how cheap this is.
Yeah.
You won't believe it.
I'm outside grilling burgers. The Ravens are getting ready to come on TV.
Yeah.
And I get a call from my boss at the time, Dave Labrosi. I don't know if you
know.
Hi,
Dave.
Kirk, Dave Labrosi. And I said, hey, Dave, what's going on? Hey, listen, we're going in a different direction. Don't come in Monday morning. I'm like, sorry, but I thought you said don't come in
I don't know
Monday
if you,
morning.
Yeah.
So that was the beginning of that scenario. Went to Tampa, came back, and then luckily Sarah Fleischer was about to retire after 37 years being on the radio.
Icon.
I had a mole in the radio station, and he said, did you hear Sarah's about to retire? And so I got back in December of 14, and then at her retirement, all the cameras were on, and they're like, why is Kirk in the studio? He don't work there. And then I was at her retirement at Power Plant Live, and then they put the job up because you got to advertise it.
Why has 98 Rock? You said it's about to be 50 years.
Yeah.
This is radio, man.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, BAL obviously 100 years, but that's different. Like, music radio stations just flip formats. They just do something else.
Yeah.
Why is 98 Rock different? Why has it sustained for as long as it has and continues to thrive the way that it does?
And it's a great question, and I will just put it as Russ Motla, one of my former program directors, put it to me, and it's stationality. If people have personalities, a station has a stationality.
Like a
it's
life
got
of
a
its own.
feel.
Yeah.
It's fun. When you think of 98 Rock, you don't think of music. You think of Lopez being staying in a block of ice for a while, or Bob Rivers staying on the air for all those days when the
100%.
Orioles lost 21 games back in '88. Or you think of Kirk, Mark, and Lopez, and some of the, instead of South Park, we did Druid Hill Park, and some of those things. I'm home. I'm home. I'm naked, and I'm thinking about you. And we would call people at the 7-Eleven before caller ID, and you think about my big booty. You know what I mean? Things like that just were fun, and you listened. We did Kirk, Mark, and Lopez Palooza, selling out Merriweather Post with Tommy Chong and Robert Schimmel, God rest his soul, and the Scorpions playing with Jim Brewer and things like that. I mean, we didn't do it too big. We didn't turn into HFS and do HF festivals. That station turned into a concert promoter. But the station has been, and it's all about Baltimore too.
Yeah, and that part of it, I think, is so it's so.
Yeah.
You're not
we
farming
do charities
out.
and things.
Yep.
There's a station in town that says we play what we want. Well, nobody works at that station.
Correct. We don't know you.
Yeah,
we don't know.
You're nobody.
Yes.
You're a jukebox that
just
nobody
an iPod. That's it.
Yeah.
Yep.
That nobody gets any benefit from your station in Baltimore. But we do all these things to Casey Cares is
it's the presence.
Yeah,
it's the presence.
Yes, yeah. And the Ravens and the Orioles have both been on other stations,
and
yet they're both on 98 Rock, who is not a sports station by calling. Yet both of those franchises feel better on 98 Rock because of the way they're treated.
It's a really good point, man.
Yeah.
It's a really good point. It's always been present. It's always been a part
And
of
it's a flamethrower. You can get it in Virginia. You can
That's
get
a
it up
good
in
point,
Pennsylvania.
too.
Yeah,
it is a good point.
Yeah,
like
Hearst owns 2 stations. They used to own a ton. Now they own WBAL AM 1090 and FM 101.5 and 98 Rock. They also own
a million
slew of
television
TV stations,
right?
And Good Housekeeping, Cosmopolitan, if those are still a thing. But the building's paid for in Baltimore. They don't have a mortgage payment, so it just makes money for them.
They care about the programming is the thing that I've always noticed. They care about the program. They don't just fire someone for the sake of firing them,
right?
And we can put somebody else in who's younger. They care about it. They think it matters that you've known these people for a long time.
Yeah, Amelia's last ride. She's retiring
100%
after
right?
20-some years, and they're giving her like a send-off instead of disappearing in the middle of the night. You won't say, scratch your head and say, what happened to
Did
that
I just
person?
fall off a cliff?
Right.
What the hell? Why
wait till I retire. I want a last ride.
Oh my
yo.
God! Yeah,
Give
right?
me. I want a rocking chair from every city.
Knowing you. You're going to die on the air.
Oh,
you're not
God.
going to retire.
Hopefully not this week.
No. But you're going to, I was convinced that Brett Favre wanted to die on a football field. Like, he just didn't, I'm going to die on the football field. You're not going to, you're just going to keep doing this.
I would hurt myself if I have too much free time. I'll get into stuff. I like getting up in the morning, looking for some stories, getting to the gym. I got a nice regimen. Come home, get the shower, go to work. Now I'm at work for 5 or 6 hours. I can't get down at happy hour, be drinking Orange Crushes or whatever I like to do. And then I get off. Sometimes I'll have a drinky drink. Sometimes not. I go right to bed, and then rinse and repeat.
I got to real quick. We're gonna play a quick game that Griffin prepared for us, and then we got to talk to Enrique Bradfield. I do want to know: have you ever had the experience of finding out someone was a listener that was a significant? Like, been somewhere, this person because they're a significant person. Turns out they know you because they've listened to you, and have you ever had that type of moment?
Nothing springs to mind, but I had a dune buggy back in the day.
Okay.
My buddy BK from Ocean City was down in Florida looking at a dune buggy, and the guy somehow was like, there was a sticker on his dune buggy that reminded my buddy, and he said, yeah, my buddy Kirk McEwen. And Kirk McEwen! I mean, down in some spot
cool.
in Florida that the guy knew who I was, that really caught my buddy off guard. But, there's people. Yesterday at camp, Lacey DaCosta stopped by for a second. I'm like, I really enjoyed your text about you guys can have him back now.
Mm-hmm.
And I tweeted at her, hey, great to finally meet you, blah, blah, blah. And she said, I've listened to 98 Rock and you guys for a long, long time.
That's cool.
So there's people out there that
find joy. I'm thinking like there's got to be, because I had this experience. My buddy, a very close friend of mine, Zach from the band All Time Low.
Yeah.
I did, when I was, it just wasn't my music necessarily.
Yeah.
But I knew who they were. And in like 2012, 2011, something like that, they were playing at the Preakness.
Yeah.
And he came over and was like, I listen to you all the time.
Isn't that crazy?
And I'm like, oh, well, you're doing really well. As it turns out, we became very, very close friends.
Yeah.
But like, I gotta think that when somebody like Turnstile pops off,
yeah,
those guys had to be listening to 98 Rock their entire lives.
They're hard. You know what? They're hard to get to now. I'll tell you what. Lizzie Hale. I used to play her stuff on home tapes back in the day. Hailstorm played with Ozzy at his Back to the Beginning or whatever concert before his death in Birmingham. So I know she listened,
That's
and
cool. That's cool.
Doing the Preakness up on stage.
Steve Gorman, Black Rose?
Yes.
So that was a wild one for me.
Yeah.
When he came and introduced himself to me at the Super Bowl one year.
Dude.
He's like, I'm from Timonium. When I'm home, I listen all the time.
I didn't know he was from Timonium.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's like, if you ever want me to call in, I'm like, are you kidding me?
Yeah, yeah.
Like, are you out of your mind? Yeah. I made the mistake of posting that I was going to the Black Crow show when they were at Merriweather, and he texted me. He's like, what are you doing, asshole?
That's great.
Yeah, great guy.
Oh, yeah.
Man. All right, so let's play this game before Enrique Bradfield calls in. Okay. So Griffin did this to me the other day.
Okay.
Now, did you do the original game this time?
Yeah, we could do.
He did for me. You've seen the Odyssey, right?
I'm mad at the Odyssey. I saw it last weekend.
Yeah.
Oh.
Listen,
I love
real quick. They could have cut some of those fight scenes. Zendaya, who looks like my daughter, didn't really need to be in there.
She's Athena.
Charlize, I know, but it was just fluff. Charlize Theron didn't really understand that. The witch thing with the sheep that were men. They had a love child that they've cut out.
I know. Well, this is Nolan's adaptation.
Oh, God.
It's
yeah.
not historically
Those are some of the problems I had with it.
Okay.
So I have not seen the Odyssey.
We can talk about it for an hour.
Lollapalooza is going on right now in Chicago.
Okay.
Griffin gave to me, is this an act at Lollapalooza or is this something related to the Odyssey?
Okay.
And it was a struggle for me.
Oh, wow.
I think I ended up doing...
You did like 55%.
I want to say somewhere around 60.
I
think
you're... Yeah,
something like
might
that.
Have been 60.
But the original concept that he had was, is this an act at Lollapalooza or just words I made up? So
all right, I do like I like the angle with the movies.
Yeah. So I wanted him to give that one to you.
Okay.
And I obviously are these some of the ones you gave me?
Some of them might, some of them
okay,
some of them are new
well,
ones.
I'll decide
also
whether I
rediscovering
jump in.
them.
Yeah, right. Because you could have told it to me the other day and I've already forgotten.
Okay.
That's completely
all right, good.
possible.
All right, so I'll shout out McNugget What on a Reddit user. Also came up with a bunch of random band names.
Oh, in order to help
yeah,
this?
some
Okay,
stealing
right. What's
from
up,
him
McNugget
as well.
What?
Yeah, McNugget What? Legend.
Okay. All right, so let's start what we're doing, Lollapalooza or fake band name.
Okay.
Let's do Easy Feet.
Easy Feet.
Yeah.
That's a fake band name.
That is a
right.
fake name.
Yeah.
That is a fake name.
Yeah.
I do like it though.
Yeah.
I might write that down.
Might be your next band name.
You know what? I got this band I'm putting through and I don't have a name yet.
Easy Feet might be the one. Thanks, McNugget. What?
Yeah.
How about Bad Nerves?
Bad Nerves is a real band.
They are, yeah. All right. They're
Not
performing.
getting it.
They're,
You're not getting- this is Kirk McEwen. You're
Easy
talking
feet.
about. You better
Performing
step your game up over there, brother.
They're performing at
This is
1:30.
Kirk- this is Kirk McEwen,
I don't know.
man.
Well, then
What are
I
the
don't know
odds?
if I'll be able to get it by him.
Oh, sure you will.
How about Pearly Drops?
Pearly Drops, I'm going to say that is a fake band.
They are opening up for Lollapalooza. And, actually, just now, 7 minutes ago, they started. They
All
took the
right,
stage.
Pearly
I
Drops.
was with Kirk because I thought it was too similar to Pearl Jam. I'm like, there's no way that you're doing Pearly Drops as your band
Wasn't
name.
that a toothpaste back in the day? Pearl Drops?
That sounds.
Yeah,
That
Pearl
sounds
Drops.
something like
They just
that.
put the Pearly out there.
Chalk.
Chalk's a band.
Chalk is a band.
Damn,
Yes.
it was all
Chalk
over
is a
that
band.
one.
Yeah. How about the Viagra
It was
Boys?
indeed. Pearl Drops was indeed a toothpaste.
Yeah. And the Viagra Boys are a band.
They are. Yeah. They're on at 9 o'clock tonight.
Yo.
Kirk's all over it.
That's a great
By
band.
the way, I think I would have been 1 for 5 so far.
And if they're looking for a member, I'm a Viagra boy.
Nicely done.
Little Big Guy?
That's made up.
That is made up.
Yeah.
Damn. Let's go with
Hey, McNugget, what?
Biscuit Kings.
Biscuit Kings. They're a band.
They are not a band.
Biscuit Kings. Let me write that.
I wanted to believe Biscuit Kings were a band because when I made my first trip to North Carolina, I definitely was a Biscuit King. Man.
Yeah, Biscuit Kings.
Popping into Bojangles and Biscuitville.
We got Layover Diarrhea.
I'm going to say that is not a band.
That's a fake.
No way.
That is
There's
fake.
no way. No way.
Nobody's at the show.
100%.
Where do I want to go now? Let's do.
Layover
Trying to figure out.
Man.
Mr. G.
Mr. G? That's not a band.
That's an act at Lollapalooza.
Okay.
No.
Mr.
Yeah,
G.
Mr. G. He'll be at 1:30 tomorrow. I think he's today as well. Yeah.
That's like Lady D. It'd be at the sister
Who
act.
was Miss Dynamite from a few years ago? Remember Miss Dynamite? Her she was named Miss Dynamite, and her song was also called Miss Dynamite.
I love that. That's
Yeah.
like Bad Company.
That's true.
We'll do Peace Control.
Peace Control sounds like a band to me.
That is a real band. Yeah,
Yeah.
they're on Saturday at noon. About Om Nom.
Om Nom's a band.
That is, they are. They
All
are.
over it.
They are.
All over it. Kirk's gonna start giving you facts. He's gonna be
I
like,
know, right?
"Yeah, they're from Billings, Montana."
Yeah, they lost their drummer, but the keyboard player slid over.
Dry Lube.
Dry Lube, no way.
Yeah, it's fake.
I like that one, though.
Think
Kirk's
about
too
it.
good at
Dry
this.
Lube.
Got to think about it.
The Blooper Troopers.
Blooper Troopers, that's not a band.
No, they're not.
Damn,
Man.
you are really struggling to
Man,
get it past him.
Making me look bad here.
I'm blocking the net.
We'll do Mama.
Mama's a band.
They are.
Yeah, go Mama.
The Frost Children.
The Frost Children's a band.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's like 18 for 20, man.
Yeah.
Like he's killing it over here.
Die Spitz.
No way.
They're a real band.
Oh.
They're going on right before Frost Children.
Oh.
I'm not pondering, though. I'm going right for it.
Yeah.
The Q Brothers.
The Q
Yeah,
Brothers are a band, yeah.
This is the exact opposite of when he did this game with me, and I sat here like,
Got out a 50-50 chance.
I'm like, it sounds kind of
Overthinking
Greek,
it.
maybe.
I tell you what I'm really good at is guessing ages, but I can only do 2 or 3 in a row, and I got to do it quick.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like we're just people you see on the street?
Yeah, you can walk
Okay.
up to me, and I can figure out how old you
Wow,
are.
that's pretty good.
Yeah.
Color Currency.
Yeah, that's a band.
No, that's fake. Not real. Salmon Jalapeno.
That's not a band.
That's correct. They're not.
Yeah, there's
not
no
a
way.
band.
That's
Not a
dumb.
band.
That's just dumb.
Yeah.
That's dumb. You
Yeah.
Salmon
It's not-
Jalapeno.
obviously, there's a million dumber band names, but still.
Yeah, Mornings with Bumpy and the Spider.
Squirrel Flower.
That's not a band.
Nope, they are going on 12:30 on Sunday.
What is a squirrel flower, everybody?
There's no such thing as a squirrel flower.
Wow.
But isn't there like a bad flower? There's like a million
They're
flowers.
bad flowers,
yeah.
sure, yeah.
And bad flower is good, right?
They are
Like,
good, yeah.
yeah.
They're talking about heroin there.
Cruz Beckham and the Breakers.
Cruz, Beckham, and the Breakers. I'm going to say it's a band.
They are. Yes, they're
Oh,
also
damn.
going on Sunday at
So specific.
Lollapalooza.
I mean, how are these guys getting booked and we don't even know them?
100%, man.
That's crazy.
100. But dude, I've reached the point where I don't know anybody past the top line.
Yeah.
Like now it's starting to get to the point when you see the Lollapalooza and you're like, I'm not even sure I know everybody on the top line.
It's like the eye chart, and we're all the way at the bottom. These bands,
100%.
yeah.
Balding Man Band.
I'm going to say no.
That's not a real band.
Wow.
kind of would want that to be.
But
I
there's
really-
so many out
Yeah,
there,
right.
balding men
Uh-huh.
in bands.
Clean Grass.
I'll say that's a band.
That is not a real band.
Oh, Clean Grass.
Yeah. Doc Knockers.
No.
Yeah, that's a fake one.
Good, it should be.
That's fake.
That one's the best one of the fake band names.
Doc
I'm gonna
Knockers.
need somebody to put together
And
Doc
the
Knockers.
Yabos.
Yeah,
Doc Knockers and the
100%.
Yabos.
Snack Time.
Snack Time. No.
Oh, I know that's a band. They're from Philadelphia, and they're outstanding.
Really?
They're really good.
Snack time?
They're going on 1 o'clock on
Yeah,
Sunday?
they're
All right.
really good.
They should be going on later than 1 o'clock if they're that good.
Yeah.
Be a Badoobie.
That sounds like a band to me.
Yeah, that's a real act. 6:45 on
In fact,
Sunday.
I think also playing a headlining show at Merriweather. Apparently huge.
How are you spelling that?
That is Bia Ba Doobie.
Okay, Bia Ba Doobie.
Yeah, Bia Da Boobie.
All right, which doobie you be?
Yeah, apparently Filipino and massive.
All right.
That playing October 10th at Merriweather.
Nice.
Yeah.
Porchlight.
Porchlight sounds like a band.
They are real.
Yeah.
They're going on Sunday as well. The Finger Banging Snakes.
Finger banging snakes. I'm going to say no.
I think McNugget might have let you down here. Some of these are so
They're too far outlandish.
the finger banging snakes really
cherry popping daddies.
That did happen. We really did that as a society.
We did. We went there,
and they were huge.
Oh yeah.
What was the song?
Zoot
Riot.
Yeah.
Throw back a bottle of beer.
Hey.
God. Founding Fathers of Mother Nature.
Yeah, it's a band.
Nope.
Founding Fathers.
All right, three
of
more.
Mother Nature.
Three
Okay.
more.
All right, let me
Unless
I got to get 2 out of 3.
Is he calling or are we calling him?
He's supposed to be.
All right.
calling us.
Well, then yeah, it's fine. All good.
Make sure I get a good one here.
Zoot Riot.
Riot.
Lucky Diaz.
Lucky Diaz. Sounds like a band to me.
That is real. That is real.
All right, last one.
Last one. Last one. I gotta make it a good one. Who do I want it to be? We'll do Bombfish.
Bombfish is a band.
Fake.
Oh, still, that's a Jackson Holiday-esque performance from you, sir.
I'll take it.
That was smoking hot.
Was that pre-Hamate or post-Hamate?
That's right now.
All right.
Jackson Holiday, the
Bring
way
it
that
up.
you were hitting in the Lollapalooza or made-up bands.
Do not
I think Doc Knockers. That to me is a winner.
Don't sleep on Easy Feet.
I really thinking about Easy Feet sounds like if you were playing like a cover of Doobie Brother, Allman Brothers, Little Feet, like Southern Black Crows, like if you were doing like a Southern rock tribute band.
So you're spelling it F-E-A-T and not F-E-E-T.
Yeah,
All right.
I'm thinking that's
Easy Feet.
I'm thinking that's what Easy Feet is.
I always had
a
a hard
Southern
time with
rock tribute.
Little Feet. That was a head scratcher and a Doc Knocker for me back then.
I like Doc Knocker. That one's the winner for me. All right, good stuff. I appreciate that.